All right. Good evening. How's everybody doing? It is Friday. Time goes by fast. Man, this week's gone by fast. This week's been crazy, crazy busy, but in a good way. Tomorrow is going to be crazy busy, but that's how it goes. All right. So, anyway, excuse me. Just had some hot dogs for dinner. So, I was like, I'm hungry now. Like I said, we ended up doing a couple loads of gravel. So, just trying to hit spots, places that need it. My neighbor did come in with his box blade and uh, and hit part of the road, so that really helped. And so just slow and steady. But anyway, before we jump into everything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask everybody to please be deep or please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. Um, Rhonda Henry said, "Ed, I wanted you to know I got my book today. Thanks." Oh, awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm glad you got it. Um, so, also, family friendly oriented channel. Please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot handle those very easy things, uh, those awesome people that are lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here. All right. But all right. So before we get started in everything, which there's a lot to talk about, Donna Hoffman, I got my book. Thank you. The 18-year-old ran off to read one of them already. Oh, very cool. I'm glad, Donna. And again, Donna, thank you so much for your patience. Um, it has been yeah, you were beyond patient, way more patient than I would have ever been. So thank you very much. I do appreciate your patience on that. That's why I wanted to make sure I sent you the second book as well, just because you've been beyond understanding. I get crazy, busy. Pennsylvania Granny, I got mine too. Thanks again. Very cool. Very cool. Um, Patty got her book also. Wow, it looks like most of you got it today. That's awesome. There's 4 people already that said they got it today out of 10. So that's very cool. All right, so tonight we're going to be giving away this one. This is A Solitary Man's Refuge by Ron Foster. We have with this one, I think there's 4 more books to give away. So this week and next week will be the last weeks of the getaway because I'm actually keeping a copy of all the books as well. So when Ron sent them, he said to me, you keep a copy and then give the rest away. And so I have one of all the books that I've been giving away. So again, a big shout out to Ron Foster for donating the books. Very much appreciated. And so if you would like, JJ will throw you his link up as well if you'd like to go and check out his channel. But this is a book that we're going for tonight. So if you get the egg count right tonight, this is what you will win. So that will be obviously later in the stream, and we will go from there. So, all right, man, I'll tell you what. I think a lot of you know already that the United States today shot down something in Alaska, high altitude. It was 40,000 feet up. And so they shot that down today, and they're in the process of recovering those debris to analyze, check out, and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot going on as far as that type of stuff, happening. And so just need to pay attention, stay vigilant on what's going on. There is, with that, so what was up there? Who put it up there? You know what I mean? So we'll have to figure all those things out and what's going on with that. So I don't know if you guys saw this one today, but we the United States tested a hypersonic missile, I believe it was. Did not have a warhead on it, but we were testing that today as well. So, it's again show of strength, showing this is what we got, don't screw with us type of a situation. A lot of games being played right now, folks. A lot of games, and it's again, it almost seems to me, um, Iran warships are heading down the Panama Channel to block the channel. Ah, if they try to do something like that, that would definitely not be a good thing. They said it was not another balloon. They said this one was about the size of a car. So I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you, as far as that goes. But things seem to be amping up. And, that's what I wanted to talk about, with this. It seems instead of decelerating, it's accelerating. And, you know, it is, it's crazy. I don't, I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I don't know what these people are thinking, our country or any other country. It is almost as though they absolutely want us to get into something. They want us to get into something. And I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with you? Just like school bullies all getting red faced and puffy cheeked. Yeah. Or puffy chest. Yeah. It's crazy right now, Dale. Like I said, I have a lot of concerns. Unless things can calm down and people, hopefully, cooler heads can prevail. But it just, to me, um, you know, it is though they want something to happen. They're egging for a fight, and I mean, I think that is insane. All the stuff that's going on with China, what we're doing, what they're doing, all the stuff going on with Russia right now in Ukraine, and now they're getting tanks, and now they want airplanes, and so it's just, I don't know, I don't know. It's very concerning, very very concerning, because like I said again, and I'm going to say this again. I know I've said this before. In a war, folks, nobody wins. Nobody wins. So it's not about we're going to beat them and we're going to be the winners. In a war type of situation, especially if it goes nuclear, it will be a very very bad thing. We came really close today with Russia firing rockets through Moldovan and Roman. They're through all Romanian airspace. Yeah, it's accelerating. Things are getting worse. They're not getting better. And if so, are they spying on us? Well, hope there's always spying going on. That's been going on forever. So that's an ongoing thing. It is what they're using and how it's being used and all those type of things. So that's, I mean, who know? Like with this latest thing, there's not enough information yet, but we do know that they did shoot something down up in Alaska, but we don't know what it was yet. So, we're going to have to wait and see what they come up with that one. Or let me rephrase what they're going to tell us it was, right? So, EMP is a real possibility. I would hope not. I really, like I said, you would destroy all the infrastructure if you did an EMP. So nothing would be useful or workable. Like I said, again, the most probable scenario would be a grid down situation, because no enemies coming in here into this country unless they're willing to take tremendous losses, because again, there's a lot of veterans out here, ex-military, that we know what we're doing, we know what we need to do, and we know how to handle ourselves. So if a foreign enemy came and invaded, they're not just dealing with the army, they're dealing with the civilian population too. So, but yeah, people don't want war. The government does. Yeah, and that's the thing, John. People, yeah, the average citizen does not want to go to war. I can tell you right now, I'm not willing to sacrifice my son or my daughter, or my stepson for anybody's war machine. Not willing to do it. Don't want them, to do that. So, but it's crazy times right now. Like I said, again, very very concerning. And watching all this play out, and it's like every day, like what about sleeper cells? That is a good question, Just Arizona. You can't tell me, and I want you guys to let's think about this rationally. Do we have sleeper cells in other countries that we consider our enemies? You better believe we probably do. I'm not saying that we do, but it wouldn't. I'll rephrase that. It would not shock me if we had sleeper cells in other countries. There most likely is sleeper cells in this country, Russian and Chinese, and they're waiting for their orders. And so those are things that you need to think about. You really, really need to think about those things. And with everything that is going on and the things that people are doing, it doesn't look like they want to back it off. Again, so let me be clear about something, like Frederick. North Korea is not a threat to the United States of America, and neither is Iran. Okay. Iran has I was going to say hard and then another word, but for Israel, they want Israel. So, and that whole area over there has it out for Israel. They've had for a long, long time. They don't want Israel to be there. So they're more of a threat to Israel. Iran is. They're not really a threat to us. They're really not. They may beat the drums and they may talk the rhetoric and they may say different things, but they are not, just like North Korea is not a threat to us. Now, Russia or China, we'd have our hands full. Who would win? Again, nobody would win. Nobody would win. So, those are things that people need to realize. If something goes nuclear, we all lose because, but there are about 400,000 Iranian-born immigrants in the United States, and more than a third of them live in the Los Angeles metropolitan region. Wow, that I did not know. Hey, Patty, this may help with some of the postage on sending the books. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Yeah, it was not cheap. It was not cheap sending those books out. It was $10 a piece to send those books out. But I really do appreciate you sending that, Patty. That means a lot. So thank you very, very much for doing so. But again, with the situation as it is, we need to stay on top of things. Ed, send them media mail UPS. Yeah, like I said, I just went down to the post office and did it that way. And when if it ships, it fits type of package. So, but what do we got? 463 in the chat, guys. We're 156 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that ahead of time. It's very much appreciated. Also, it makes a big, big difference with the algorithms. So thank you for doing that as well. And again, I do appreciate that. If you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. And, that is appreciated. So thank you very much for that. So like, comment, and share too, guys. But we need to be very, very diligent. I think it's really, really important that there are approximately 173,000 Korean immigrants living in the United States without authorization as of 2019. Well, and that's the whole point too, guys. There's all these people streaming across the border, and a lot of the videos that you see, it's military-aged men. Military-aged men coming across that border. All right. They use the distraction of, like with the women and children, and, they're getting rounded up and they're processing them and they're looking for help. But there's a lot of people in this country that wish to do America harm. And again, we've talked about it. I mean, there have been attacks on substations already. And so if there was a well organized attack on substations. And I'm not just talking about, randomly here in North Carolina or randomly in Seattle, Washington, or randomly somewhere else. I'm talking that if they decided to do a really truly organized attack on that power grid, they could take it down. They could do some serious damage. It would cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to fix everything, probably billions if they did it the right way. And it would be ridiculously long before we had working service again. And they would have to prioritize. They would be like, okay, well, we got to get the hospitals up and running as soon as possible. So that would be a priority. So, making sure, well, they have the backup systems, but again, those backup systems are only good for 3 days. And so the priority would be making sure that the hospitals all over the place would, how many, hospitals would be, God, I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, talking about the hospitals, they would be a priority. They would be getting the fuel first to keep them up and running. I think that's kind of what I wanted to say. But, it's just, we, Joe Average Citizen, are not going to be the priority. And I want you guys to think, too, every day, how many emergencies do we have every day? Every single day. It's it's craziness right now. Who takes care of those people when things go south? Because injuries are still going to happen, probably more so than before an event. Did your last book get claimed? The guy did, Frederick Nolan. He did reach out to me. He said he does not have an email. But I wrote him back and said that if he has a friend that has an email and he gives me the number and has to do it that way, then I would reach out to him and call him. So, because he said I could give you my number, but obviously doesn't want to give the number over the internet, which I can't say as I blame him. So, but yes, he did reach out to me. So thank you for asking about that. But, they haven't figured out what they shot down yet, Randall Brown. They did shoot something down over Alaska that was about the size of a car. So they don't know exactly what it is yet. 1 second after, game over. It's about right too. Again, in my opinion, most likely scenario would be a grid down situation. So how that was facilitated, that would be, we wouldn't know. So we wouldn't know. So you're talking about the temperature. I'll tell you what the temperature is here right now. So hold on a second. I think we hit a high of 48 today. Yeah, right now it is 38. So, but not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Tomorrow's going to be 48 again. Low with tonight's low is going to be 38. So that's not a horrible low. Actually, now it's saying something different here. It's saying that by 6 in the morning, it's going to be 31 degrees. So if it goes down to 31 tonight, that's not horrible. But tomorrow's going to be, decent. Sunday, it's looking like rain. Originally, they were calling for some snow, but now they've changed it to just rain on Sunday. So we'll see what happens with that. I do not know why. I think exactly why they shut it down. They felt that it was a credible risk, so that's why they shot it down. Who knows what's going on with that situation? Again, it's we got to keep, like I said, we got to stay vigilant, pay attention. We need to keep prepping. We need to continue to get ready. They're never going to tell us the truth. Probably not. But again, what can we control? We can control what we're doing as far as planning, getting ready, doing those type of things. Now, again, I want to be clear about something. This is not about living in fear. It's not about hiding in the mountains. It's not about hiding out in your house, waiting for the end of the world to happen. That would be, was it 45,000 feet? They said it was too close to aircraft traffic. Okay. Um, but, you know, living in fear is not the answer. I do not live in fear. Okay. I'm not afraid. Um, Now, I hope nothing happens. I have my family is up in New York, and I am down here. But it's not about being scared to death and shaking and oh my God, this or that or the other thing's going to happen. Whatever's going to happen, folks, is going to happen. Um, and you or me or anybody else flipping out and worrying about it all the time is not going to help your situation. Now, being proactive, uh, putting yourself in the best possible situation that you can be because of the situation, that's just smart. That is just smart. So, you know, when it comes to, I will tell you this: I've always been ultra competitive. Always have been super ultra competitive. Whatever sport I'm playing, I don't care if it's checkers to chess to basketball to baseball, whatever the case may be, I play to win. Okay, I play to win. Now, there's things that you can do with any situation where you try to give yourself that advantage. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that edge. I'm looking for that advantage to put myself in a situation where when the time comes that I'm going to be in pretty good shape, I'm hoping, and that, the people that I care about, the people in my group are going to be in that same situation. So that's the important part. That's the important part. So, because I like to win, I don't like to lose. So, that's for me, uh, what you have to understand, okay, and this is kind of like always been my philosophy. It's a game. Everything is a game. And so it's how you play the game. If you can play, like, now I'm going to tell you what I can't do. I will tell you this right now. I don't do politics. So that type of game, I won't play it, won't do it. Not my thing, never has been my thing. I'd rather be straight up, tell you like it is. Those little political, nonsensical games that happen in a lot of businesses ain't for me. But when it comes to being competitive with anything, then I am very, very competitive. And so, like I said, but it's all a game. And we have to realize that it's all a game. And as soon as you can come to that realization that life is a game, it makes it a lot easier. Is the deck stacked against us? Yep, it sure is. The government in big business, they're the house, and the odds are in their favor. That's just how it goes. That's how they set it up. They like it like that. They don't want to lose that power. They don't want to lose that control. It's just, I mean, look at car insurance. Okay, and how many people are out there driving around with no car insurance? They have come up with the rules, and the rules say that you have to have car insurance or you can't drive on the road. Well, there's people that will break those laws all the time. And if they catch them, they'll give them, they'll put them in jail or they'll give them a ticket and whatever like that because they didn't follow the rules. So, as much as we may not like those rules, it's part of the game that you have to play to have the privilege of being out there. Now, you can say, screw that, I'm not playing that game, I'm not getting insurance, I'm going to drive anyway. And you might get away with it for a while. You might. But in the long run, you're not. So, there's certain things that we do have to all conform to. I mean, that's just the bottom line. There's certain things that we absolutely all have to conform to and, and go from there. So it's just, you know, you have to think about that. But we also have choices that we can make. What we do, what we don't do, what is acceptable. With every job that you work, with everything that you do in life, there is a certain amount of crap, and I will use crap, I usually say a different word, that you have to eat. Okay? What it comes down to is what is an acceptable amount of that crap that you're willing to eat. And that's what we all need to think about. So if we're, you know, thinking about different things and what's acceptable, like I said, for me, I don't like politics games. And a lot of times in nursing, you ask other nurses that there are a lot of politics, and I don't kiss nobody's behind. I've never been that type of person, and I won't be that type of person. That's not who I am. If you want a guy that's going to come to work every day, do their job, and get things done, then I'm your guy. If you expect me to kiss your behind and proselytize myself to you, I am not that guy. So it comes, and most of these businesses, they want somebody that they can push around, that they can bully, that they can intimidate. That's what they like. They like that stuff, and so that's just I don't know. I'm very old school. I'm from a different generation, I guess. I was raised by people that didn't take no crap. They were straight up, and they said, "See, what is wrong? What is wrong with saying it like it is? That's what I don't get. How is that ever wrong? You know, say it like it is. Be straight up. Don't beat around the bush. Tell me what you feel. You know." And so, but a lot of people don't like that. They don't like it. So, what I'm telling you, basically, the whole game thing, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Again, we're nothing we can do to change it. We can hope. We can, if you want to pray about it, you can pray about it. It's not going to change what's going to happen. So, what can we do? We can control, again, what we can control. So, I can control. I can go to the store and I can say, okay, I'm going to buy 6 cans of raviolis because I like raviolis. It's something that I'm going to eat, and I can stock that up. So now, what am I doing? I am controlling. I am controlling what I am doing with my life to put myself in a better position to survive whatever may come, right? And that's what I'm doing. Uh, you know, we all have a line that we won't cross. Okay. So when I was hired at that hospital, and because I would not get this, uh, I did not get hired. All right. I'm not going to compromise my morals or my, you know, yeah, I like that comment. I'm going to let that show. Um, I'm not going to compromise my morals to get a job. Not going to do it. If you, like I said, if you want to hire me, this is the way it's going to be. Period. I'm not doing these things. I'm not compromising myself. It's not what I'm doing. So please tell James he's lost. Well, maybe you should go back and watch him. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. One of the things I've talked to you guys about many, many times, and we're going to talk about it again right now. We're going to talk about gardening. All right. After SHTF, we are not going to be hunters. There's not going to be anything to hunt. During the Great Depression, they about hunted the woods dry. We have a lot more people than in this country now than we did during the Great Depression. So you may think that there's a lot of animals out there, but they are not. There is a limited amount of animals. And if every Yahoo in the world is out there plinking away in the woods, there's not going to be any animals out there very long. Okay. So we are not going to be hunters. Short term, yep, maybe for a while, but not for long. We are going to be growers and gatherers. So the best thing that you can do to help yourself to be proactive, again, to control what you can control, is learn how to garden, learn your wild edibles, learn your medicinal plants, learn those things that are going to help you. You walk through the woods in the summertime, and if you starve to death, that's your own fault. Because Mother Nature is providing everything that you need to survive right there in nature. So, lots of squirrels run loose here. Yeah, well, and I'm going to tell you what, I lived in Rochester, and we had squirrels out the wazoo in Rochester as well. Okay. Right now, that's fine. But I will tell you this right now. And again, and I'm not being, I'm not being facetious about this, but think about all the squirrels you see in the city. You're in the city, you see deer once in a while, you see, the squirrels or whatever. They're going to all be gone because people are going to get hungry, and that's food. And so they're going to kill them as quickly as they possibly can. And they're going to eat them, and they're going to be gone. And it won't take long before there's no squirrels and there's no birds around. There's no wild game around because any wild game that's around is going to go to the ground and try to survive. And, yeah, people go full Ted Nugent hunters. There's not enough people, guys, out there that actually have an idea of what they're doing hunting wise. There's a lot of hunters out there. All right. Now, hunters are still going to get, they're still going to get food. Lots of gators to eat. Yeah. And you know what? Again, for how long? Let's talk about this. Okay. Let's talk about a lake. Great big old lake, man, all full of fish. And you're like, yeah, that is awesome. Right. But right now, that's all regulated, and you're only allowed to fish if you have your permit. You got your permission to fish, and you can only take this size or that size. In an SHTF event, now instead of having, let's say on a normal day, I'm going to give you an example. On a normal day, we have 200 people fishing in the lake, right? Great. That's wonderful. And they catch maybe 2 fish each. There's 400 fish. Good for them. They had a good time. They got some fish. They're going to take those fish home and eat them. But now you got 10,000 people fishing. And they're not caring about quotas, and they're not caring about what size, if this is the right size and I can't do this size because it's too small. Whatever they're going to catch, they're going to eat. So how soon do you think it would be before that wonderful lake that you used to go and fish and do that? How long before you think there's no fish in that lake? Wouldn't take long, guys, with that many people out there, right? And that's the point I'm making. So if you know how to garden, if you know how to grow food, if you know what you can do, yeah, and you need to refrigerate. Yeah, having refrigeration is going to be important. So 90% don't hunt. They go and sit and wait until one walks by. That's not hunting. No, that's not hunting. Nope. But but there's a lot of people that do know how to hunt, and they, and again, and that's great. But you're not going to wait till something's in season. In an SHTF event, you're going to get what you can get because your kids are sitting there starving. You can't go to the grocery store no more because there's nothing to get there. So you have what you have. Whatever preps you've made ahead of time is what you have in your home. That's it. Period. End of story. Okay. Now you got to provide. So if you're a hunter, and a lot of people are hunter, and that's great, how long are those resources going to last? How many deer are out there? How many can you take reasonably, right? And everybody else take reasonably to be able to do that. So again, with knowing how to grow, with knowing how to plant, get the biggest yields that you possibly can, protect your plants from, not even the 2-legged creatures that are out there. They're going to want to steal what you have. You're going to protect them from the 4-legged creatures and weevils and whatever else is out there, bugs and everything that wants to, eat your food. You have to pay attention to all those things. So again, if you know how to grow food, if you know how to gather food in the woods, you're not going to go hungry. You're not. You can survive, and we've talked about this before. You can survive on just potatoes. Just potatoes. So that would be something that I would highly recommend people planting. Get your potato plants in and get those decent yields off those plants, and see what you can get. Yeah, people don't become hunters overnight. No, they do not. You're right. Exactly, Alan Rice. It's a skill that's developed over time. Somebody has to teach you all those type of things. But again, Alan, let's talk about this realistically. If there is we'll call it 100-acre woods, right? 100-acre woods. And now instead of the normal 200 people out there hunting in those woods, you have 5,000 people. Again, how many deer are out there? Not all those 5,000 people are coming out of there with a deer. So, Tony Blackman, I believe more people will turn to cannibalism than most imagine. And you're 100% correct. If there's nothing else to eat, people are going to do what they need to do. That's the bottom line. People are going to do what they need to do. And again, it is so easy. It is so easy to sit here, any of us, me, anybody else, and say what you would do and what you would not do. It's really easy to say that, okay? Because we have full bellies. We have a roof over our head. We're warm and dry. We have clothes on our back. If we decide, hey, I'm in the mood for Taco Bell, I'm going to run out and I'm going to go get Taco Bell, right? We have all those conveniences right now. But if we don't have those conveniences, folks, and you're not warm and dry, and you don't have a full belly, and you're hungry, you're going to do what you need to do to secure food, Yep. Robert Santos says, eat dogs and cats. And people will. Absolutely, they will. People will eat dogs and cats. They'll eat everything, okay? So, including each other. So don't think that if you haven't had a decent meal in a couple of weeks and you're starving and maybe you've been eating bark or something to that effect, believe me, you're going to do what you got to do. So with proper planning, if you have planned correctly and ready and you've been thinking about it and you're thinking ahead and you have your seeds, and you know how to garden because you've been practicing gardening, you're going to be in better shape. You're going to be in a whole lot better shape than most people. But you better be able to protect what you have too, because there will be people out there willing to do whatever they need to do to get what they need. So if you have planned ahead and you have put food up and you have been gardening and you know how to garden and you know how to do microgreens for say, and you know your wild edibles, as long as it's the right time of season, you can go in the woods and you can feed yourself. Now you can also go in the woods, eat the wrong thing, and kill yourself. You have to know what you're doing. Again, this is not a skill that you go, okay, here's my book on wild edibles, which I've never ever read, never even looked at, but I've have it. And now I'm going to go off into the woods and I'm going to gather all this different things and I'm going to eat them, right? You need to practice. You need to take that time, learn what works, what doesn't work. This is what I'm talking about. Practical practice. I've talked about it a million times. So when people say to me, I'd rather starve than eat my fur baby. They are my children since I can't have any. I'm not going to tell you what you would or wouldn't do. Some people won't. Okay. And then when you die, those lovely animals that you love so much will eat you. Okay. That's reality, because, that's what happens. And not trying to be mean or nasty, but that's what's going to happen. If you don't do what you need to do to survive and you pass, your animals will eat you. It's been proven. It's happened over and over and over again, and those type of things. But again, people will say to me, well, why do you live in the woods? Why do you, wait till you're hungry enough. Exactly. At least they'll get fed. Oh my God, that's too funny. Yeah. People will say to me, well, why do you live in the woods? Why do you do what you do? Because I want to know what works, what doesn't work. I need that experience. When I moved off grid all those years ago, when we went off grid, I didn't have the experience that I have now. All right. I didn't, but I was willing to get my hands dirty. I've never been afraid of hard work. I enjoy this lifestyle, to be honest with you. I like the freedom of it. I like the peace and quiet. I like being in nature. So, it's just those are things that that I think about, and it's like working out the bugs. You look at just what I have gone through with my solar system. Just what I've gone through with my solar system through the years, through the last 9 years of living off grid, what I've had to deal with, what I've had to try to figure out. Thank goodness, I've had some really good people surrounding me, and have helped me out. Brian up in New York, uh, God sent, knows what he's doing, smart young man, and he is. Ed, you are having the time of your life. You're right, Billy the Kid Norwood. I love this. I do. I love living like this. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. But again, it's like, but having decent people there in a support system. And I'm going to tell you what, with Brian knowing his stuff, and if I had an issue or something came up, and I gave Brian a call, and he said, "Yep, okay, check this, check that, check the other thing." So what happens with that, right? So what happens with that? So some of the issues that I had here that he had walked me through, they've popped up again, right? They've popped up again. But guess what? I didn't have to call Brian the second time because I knew what I needed to do here to get things squared away again, to make it right, to get it working properly and stuff like that. That's how you learn. You learn by doing. That's how all of us learn. Or somebody walks you through it and they go, "Okay, here we are. This is what we got to do. Let's get this done." And that's the best way. I'm a very hands-on learner. I want to be like I'll give you an example. When I was in nursing school, they would be like, "Okay, who wants to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it," because I want to get in there. I want to get my hands dirty. I've never been afraid to do that. So, and the best way for me to learn is get in there, get at it, get it done. And so, that's the way to do it. And, but, you know, heard there was a green comet tonight. Well, it's been out there. It's actually on its way away now. I guess it's over by the Big Dipper. If you go out and look at the Big Dipper, you could probably, I think you may need to use a pair of binoculars to be able to see it. But yeah, so that's what you definitely want to check out. So what do we got? 563 in the chat, guys. We're at 317 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you very much ahead of time. I do appreciate that. And also, if again, with the algorithms, it pushes us higher up in the ranking. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. So we're going to be doing egg count here shortly. And if you had to have stitches, can you use regular thread? In a pinch, Jay, if you had to, yeah, you could do a lot of things if you have to. Making sure things stay clean. That's going to be really, really important. Not get infected. Hey, Asif, life is a series of learning experiences. No difficulty equals no learning. Yeah, exactly. And I can honestly attest to this, Asif. I am very, very good at learning the hard way. Thank you very much for the donation. And thank you very much for the comment as well. But yeah, I have been really, really good through the years at learning the hard way. But again, figuring things out, working out the problems, even if you have to have somebody help you and teach you how to do it the first time. Once you know, and so that kind of makes it pretty cool. And it's just being smart about what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's well, we're gonna wait because I was gonna go back and talk about some more about everything that's going on, but we're almost at egg count time, so we're gonna wait a minute. I think nurses in general love to solve problems. I think that's part of it, but I think we're more analytical. We have to break it down and figure out, what's going on, what's happening here. Let's try to, troubleshoot this. And so that's one of the things that we definitely like to do. I grew up watching MacGyver. Loved that show. Yeah, I remember that show. Yeah, he could definitely figure out everything. Thank you again, Asa, for the donation. Very much appreciated. So thank you. But you can get medically approved super glue. Well, you could use regular super glue too. It doesn't have to be medically approved. If you're in that pinch and you needed to use that, you absolutely could. I'm not advising you to use that. That's so just being clear. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying that in a pinch, if you had to, it could be done. I think there's other options are always better than trying to use super glue to close a wound. Again, proper planning, having the things that you need to have, it's going to put you in a situation where you don't have to do something where you're jerry rigging something. So yeah, duct tape. Yeah, well, there's that works too. Um, but again, just being smart, being ready, learning. The day we stop learning is the day we die. All right, so that's something to think about. All right. So what we're going to do, and don't be putting any guesses on here until I say, all right? Because I'm not counting them until I say go. We're going to be giving away this book tonight by Ron Foster, The Solitary Man's Refuge. Okay. That winner of the egg count will get this book tonight. So this is the next book in the giveaway. All right. So if you are the winner of the book, you need to shoot me an email at preparedness1@yahoo.com. So just be clear on that. So give me your information and I will be getting these books back out to you. All right. So now let's do the egg count. Yes or no for thick neck, and how many eggs today? So give you guys a moment to get your guesses. If you've already won, please do not guess. All right. Let's see. Give you guys a moment to get your guesses up here. So egg count. Some of you are just putting up a number. I'm going to need to see yes or no for thick neck. And what is your guess? Okay, give you guys a minute here. Okay. If you had the same guess as tonight's winner, who is Deb Cole. Deb Cole, 6 eggs today and no thick neck. So congratulations to Deb Cole. You are the winner. This is the book that you just won. All right, Ron Foster. It is A Solitary Man's Refuge. So Deb, please shoot me that email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com. And I will get this out to you very shortly. So congratulations, Deb, for winning that. And we will go from there. But yeah, they have been. So why all of a sudden are the chickens laying more eggs, right? I know we had talked about this before, so we're going to talk about this again. And this is February. So we don't normally get 6 eggs in February. But what happened was about 6 months ago, a little bit more than 6 months ago, probably from June of last year, the egg production of the chickens went down. Okay. And so I'll explain everything here in just a second of what we've been doing. So the egg production had gone down. I don't know if you guys have read the articles, and I'm not saying that it's true, and I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just sharing information. They're saying that the feed was changed with Tractor Supply. So a lot of people that were going with Tractor Supply feed, their production of eggs went down. Our production of eggs went down. We fed our chickens Tractor Supply chicken feed. Becky is has taken over doing the chickens, and she's doing all kinds of research and looking at this, looking at that. And one of the things that we figured out, that she's been reading about, what she did was switching the feed to the chickens from Tractor Supply feed to goat feed. So she has been giving them goat feed. And what she said was, they said after 2 weeks of feeding them goat feed, you should see an increase in egg production. And the last 4 days, it's the 2-week time, the egg production is up. One of the other things I told Becky to do also was feed the chickens hot oatmeal. I said, give them hot oatmeal. Make sure you're giving them that. So she has been doing that as well. She's also been taking apples and hanging apples and letting them, peck and eat the apples. She's making sure that the chickens are also getting the mealworms. So she's giving them that as a treat as well. So you have to stay on top of your chickens. You got to make sure they have fresh feed every day. They got to have fresh water every day. You should be changing out the nesting boxes every 2 weeks. Okay, and so these are some of the things that will help with your chicken production with laying eggs. And so again, now you could put a light in there, an artificial light, which is going to give more. She's been giving them the hot oatmeal every day, Diane. She's been giving that to them every day. So now I have heard you can use cayenne pepper and put it in the feed as well. You can do that as well. That might not help with egg production, but it's going to help with the health of your chickens. So that is definitely something that you can do as well. Happy chickens lay more eggs. It's a fact. Okay. So again, well, the goat feed actually has cracked corn in it as well. So, so yeah, so the last 4 days it was like 6 eggs, 4 eggs, I think 4 eggs again, and then 6 eggs today, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they have been, they've increased that production. Now, Thickneck's still not laying, but it's still winter time, so she's, she takes the winters off. But for the most part, we did have the one day, and I wish it had been an egg count day, but it wasn't. There was one day that we had just her. Thickneck was the only one that laid, and it was the only leg she's laid in 6 weeks. So, but again, so the egg counts have been better. Becky is on top of that, and so we're going to have to see what happens. Do the eggs taste different with the new feed? That I don't know because I'm not up there. So I have no idea. But again, guys, if you're going to get animals, animals are a huge, huge responsibility. Huge responsibility. You need to also prep for your animals. Like right now, I'll give you an example. For Miss Hella, we have the bag of feed that she's using now that I'm feeding her, on a daily basis. And I have 200 other pounds of dog food set back for her. All right. But, that is what, that's what happens. I mean, it's just, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to take they are relying on you. They rely on you. So like tonight now, Hella, we were cooking hot dogs. And so Hella had a couple of hot dogs. When do I plan to go back to visit? I am thinking probably April, Donna. I'm not sure yet, 100% sure. Depends on what's going on with the world and all that type of stuff. But I'm thinking possibly April to head up to New York in April. Because I was there in November. November was the last time I was in New York, and so. I want to make sure that the weather is better. When I go, I will definitely plan it around the weather. And so, but, we'll see what happens. But, in the meantime, I got plenty to keep me occupied and busy down here. There's for sure. There's definitely no lack of things to do or projects to work on. So, we're just going to continue to do what we have to do down here. Like I said, with having the group coming together this weekend, that's always enjoyable. I enjoy that. We have a good time. We bust chops and we talk so much smack, and but we get our stuff done and we're making progress. I mean, like even tonight, Steve was off today, and so I had running around I had to do earlier. When I got back, Steve and I went down into the woods and I grabbed those rounds, and there's ketchup and mustard on her hot dogs if she's having part of the bun. When I give her that part, but a lot of times Miss Hella gets just raw hot dogs, which she enjoys very much. But so anyway, so we did that, and then when Rob got here, Me, Rob, and Steve went up to the top, and Ronnie was working with on the pavilion. And we were putting on, we did 2 more loads of gravel into the road. Well, that's 2 less that we got to worry about later on. So any progress that we can make on that is a good thing, and that's what we're doing right now. And that's what we're gonna do some of that this weekend. We'll work on that a little bit tomorrow. We'll see what Sunday looks like. I mean, if we wake up Sunday and it's pouring down rain, probably not going to be, doing a whole bunch as far as that goes. We'll have to see. You know what I mean? Usually on the Sunday, by noon, everybody is headed out, headed home by noon on the Sunday. But again, good weather, bad weather, when SHTF happens, it don't matter if it's raining. None of that matters. So, that's good for their coat, Bonnie. Giving a dog the 1 egg a day is absolutely really, really good for their coat. So, yep. But I just got a couple of e-bikes. One has a range of over 90 miles. That's cool, EV3 Dale. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are very, very cool things to have. I have a traditional bicycle, which is, powered by me. Do you worry about how his dog food might go rancid at some point? I'm not really worried about that if it's in a rotation. So what I'll do is if I buy a new bag, that bag goes into a rotation. And so I'm going to always use the oldest food first. And so like when I finish up the bag that I'm doing right now, I'll use the next bag, and then I'll buy a new bag, and that'll be goes into the very back of the stock of feed for her. So yeah, so I really don't worry about that. And SHTF happens. I obviously would probably try to cut her down on what I was giving her. And also, she would be sharing whatever I'm eating. So that would be, she does now. So why would SHTF be any different? So, but yeah, you gotta, whatever you're doing, you gotta get it into a rotation. And making sure you're eating your stuff that you're gonna, eat and stuff like that. So that's really, really important. But but yeah. So anyhow, I think making sure again, and that's one of the reasons why I actually bought a bicycle as well, was to have an alternative means of transportation. If there is no gasoline that we can access, that we can't drive our vehicles, I don't want to walk. That's just me. I'd rather be able to ride a bicycle if I have to. So, that's just part of the thought process moving down the road. And, but, that's where we're at with that one. And, but again, practical practice, guys, figure things out, learn how to do things now. If you have books on shoemaking, practice, learn how to do it. Okay. Gardening, learn how to garden because it will save your life. It will save your life. If you're in a situation and you're relying on that garden to keep you alive, you better make sure that it is going and doing what it needs to do. Ed, get an electric bike. You can charge it with your solar system. Oh, yeah. Hey, Deb, thank you very, very much for the donation. I appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. But, yeah, like I said, again, guys, we have to prioritize what's important. What do we need to be doing? But gardening is so, so important for several reasons. For several reasons. You can get food that you have grown, that you have done yourself, that you know that there's no chemicals in it. There's nothing extra added, that they've done none of that type of stuff to it. Just like with raising animals, like, raising meat birds or, having your own chickens, where those eggs come from, and they taste a whole lot better than store-bought eggs. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So, big difference that way. But, knowing where your food comes from, growing it yourself and having that, it makes, and the difference in taste is night and day. I can remember Heather had store-bought blueberries before, okay? And Do you have wild rabbits there so Hella could hunt them? We do have wild rabbits. I don't know about Hella hunting them now. That's something you got to teach a dog. Again, like with anything else, they would have to be taught how to do those type of things. You know, yeah, you definitely. Oh, that's one of the things, White Tigress. I have my beehive up in New York. When I make my next trip to New York, that will be coming back down here with me. I have a place that I can go to, and actually, I'm going to probably go and visit that fairly soon about learning how to be a beekeeper. And I think that that's another hugely important aspect of things that you should have if you are trying to survive long term. Not even just for the sweets factor, but it's a really good thing. And if you have a good relationship with your bees, you can have that. Honey is it's wonderful energy source, a lot of natural antibodies from the environment of which you live as well. And the bees help you survive by pollinating your plants. So those are important things as well. And it's just, again, there's so many aspects to things, guys. But again, I think it's really important. I think it's really important to learn while you can. Learn how to do something when it's not life or death. Because if you wait and procrastinate and don't do anything, and then SHTF happens, and they're like, okay, now I'm going to learn how to garden. Uh, Good luck, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take sheer luck. Okay, but if you have a rotation and you are gardening on a regular basis and you know how to take care of your gardening beds and all those type of things, you're going to be in a much better situation. And again, potatoes are a superfood. There's so many different things you can do with potatoes, but you can survive just on potatoes if you had to. Now, I would rather not. Okay, I like having uh, other choices. And again, and another thing, and I will say this, and I know I've said this before as well: prep the things that you like, prep food that you like, that you will eat. Like I said, for me, I like Peter Pan peanut butter. The honey roasted is better. I like the honey roasted the best. But having Peter Pan peanut butter, it's something that I like. It's something that I will eat. Yes, Mac just made a great comment. Learn how to harvest seeds also. So when you're growing, know what you need to collect. Collect those seeds, replace those seeds, because there's no more going out to the store to get those type of things. All right. So that's Stealth Mode said, Ed, I like your videos on $10 a week prep. That's how we are doing it. What the kids will eat. And that's how you should be doing it. And thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. It's a simple concept, not hard to do. And so anybody that has made an excuse and saying how they can't do this or they can't do that, if they watch that video, they can see that very clearly that they can, and it's not that hard to do. All right, let's do some shout outs. So again, I'm going to ask for 482 in the chat. We're at 392 on the thumbs up. Let's shoot for, let's say 450. Let's see if we can get to 450 thumbs up before we jump off here. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And again, I thank you for that. It makes such a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Like, comment, and share as well. So thank you very much for all of those things. All right. So we are going to start out with Icky Can. Oh, it's pulled off skin off my... That's weird. Okay. Icky Can up in Canada. He's a real good guy. I would ask you to support him. We have Angry Prepper down in New York City. Jason is the man. He's a real good dude. So definitely support him as well. You have Alaska Prepper, which is Rudy, up in Alaska. I was going to say Canada again. I don't know why I keep doing that. But anyway, up in Alaska, real good guy, very down to earth. Definitely check him out as well. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel, and he also has My Self-Reliance. 2 different channels, same guy, great information, building in the middle of Canada in the wilderness. building his homestead, and it's amazing watching this guy build. He is incredible. So definitely check him out. We have Demcad, another really good guy, very down to earth, a lot of good information with him. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, really interesting series. Definitely check that out as well. We have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Definitely show them some love. They're really good guys, doing good stuff out there in Seattle. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, which is Cody, another really good guy. A lot of great information on his channel. Red Poppy Ranch, Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin up in Minnesota. Nice young couple with Kyle and Sierra doing their thing, living off grid. Oops, I dropped my book here. Living off grid up there in Minnesota. Let's see, where was I? Okay, Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, 2 different channels, but really good people. A lot of good information on their channels. Let's see, you have Green Greg's. Definitely check out Green Greg's, especially when it comes to growing and gardening. A lot of good information there with him. Southern Prepper 1, giving you the boots on the ground information. Pay attention to what he's saying, guys. There's a lot more going on than is being reported on, okay? A lot more going on. There are shortages happening, but you're probably not hearing about them, okay? When it comes to supplies and stuff. Again, I will just tell you really quickly again. Today, I was back at Lowe's today. I picked up another 30 concrete block. And guess what? When I bought that rebar about 10 days ago, it's about 10 days now, I bought that rebar up there, and they only had 13 of them. And I bought them all. All right. They have not got any more new 4-foot long rebar in that store. Think about that. Okay. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is St. Bernard Acres with Joe. You have Doug and Stacy, another really good channel, a lot of good information. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama, nice young couple down there. The Green Dream Project, which is out in Arizona. You have Camping with Steve. Steve Wallace does stealth camping. Really, really good guy. A lot of good information with him as well. Just fun to watch him do the stealth camping. Gives you some ideas. Bush Doctor Survival. There's Monkey Works. The Needy Homesteader. She's been around for a while. Good person there as well. You have Boss of the Swamp. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Definitely check out Diamond. If you want to learn anything about the Grand Solar Minimum or anything like that, he is the man that you want to listen to. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper, Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer, Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist. You have Bushcraft Bear, who is in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News, giving you all the latest on the earthquakes, Yellowstone, and everything else that is going on. You have Ryan Hall Y'all. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped some people. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Let me backtrack. I said Mary Greeley News. We have Adapt 2030, Malachi's Corner, Ice Age Farmer. Now Ryan Hall Y'all. If you're going to get your weather, you need to get your weather from Ryan Hall Y'all. He's a good guy. A lot of good stuff on him. He gives back to the community, too. There's Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand. He gives you a lot of good information and lets you think for yourself. Deep South Homestead, The Outsider, The Fit Farmer. There's Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's, The Prepared Mind, Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee, East Tennessee Preparedness. There is The Economic Ninja, and then last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of really good channels, a lot of good information out there. We should absolutely be looking at different channels, looking at different perspectives, and I think that's important to do so. So definitely check out those other channels. So what are we at? 430. We need 20 more to get to 450 on the thumbs up, guys. So we need 20 more thumbs up to hit the goal of 450. So, but anyway, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the death toll for Turkey and Syria has now surpassed 22,000 people and counting, unfortunately. A terrible, unfortunate tragedy that's happened there with that earthquake. But, it's unfortunately it's part of life. It's what happens. Again, deciding where you live. Know your surroundings. Know what your risk factors are. Know what can cause you danger. I think that's hugely, hugely important. Um, if you don't want to live up near 50,000 now, oh, wow. I didn't see that. It was gone up that much. If you decide you don't want to live in an area that has tornadoes, a lot of tornadoes, then that would be probably a smart thing to know where those tornadoes are going to hit. If you live near a fault line, you need to know where that fault line is, how much of a danger it is to you. Okay. These are all things that you've got to pay attention to when you're looking. If you live down by the Mississippi River, you know that at some point the chances are that river is going to flood in your lifetime are pretty high. So if you don't want to get flooded out, I would not suggest living down by the river, Mississippi River or any other river. Okay. So those are things, again, we have to make choices of where we live. What risk factors are we accepting or not accepting? So just some things to think about. Okay. Anyway, we are legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? Ed, I'm not getting notifications for your channel. Kind of weird. Dawn, check your bell icon. Definitely check that out. That would be a good way to do it. Okay. Franklin County, Ohio, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house, Bumstead, Florida with Frederick, Waterloo, New York, Black Duck, Minnesota, Wyoming, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Minnesota, once again, Seattle, Edgewater, Florida, Utah with Sally, BC, Canada with Janet, Leesburg. We have Missouri and the Ozarks, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, New Hampshire, Black Mountain, North Carolina, Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia, Dust Devil also in Texas, Hamilton, Ohio, Hamilton, okay, West Virginia with Morning Light, St. Augustine, Florida with Diane, Thief River Falls, Minnesota with Deborah, Erin, Tennessee with Jay, Windmaster, Maryland. We have Oklahoma, Greenlee County, Arizona, Mississippi. We have Florida in the Panhandle with Artie, Sandusky Bay, Ohio with T-Star, West Central Georgia with Tony Blackmoon, Northwest in the UP, Upper Michigan with Dawn Hill, Verone, BC, Canada with Gypsy Mama Prepper, West Central Ohio with Dale, Campbell, Missouri with Antonio, Blue Ridge Mountains. We have Avery County, North Carolina, East Central Illinois with Lana, Salt Flat, Texas with Deborah. Let's see. Pennsylvania, we have Mountain Man, Vancouver State, Washington with Gary, Southeast Massachusetts here with Pappy Two Bears. Yeah, no, Philip's not. I didn't see Philip in the chat tonight. But anyway, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a truly huge, huge network of people. We are the ones that truly can make a difference. We can make a difference now, and we can definitely make a huge difference after a post event. I think it's important that we try to do so, Stephen from South Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you for what you do. Well, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate the support. Yeah, these are fun. I like these chats. I don't always stay on topic, as everybody knows. Yeah, we blew through 450. We're 454, so you guys are awesome. Very, very cool. But yeah, again, going back to everything, control what you can control, learn everything that you can learn, put things into practical practice, get your hands dirty, learn how to do it. Figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work. When it comes to gardening, there is a huge learning curve with gardening. Take care of your soil. Learn how to take care of your soil. What is going to be good for my soil? How can I enrich my soil year after year so that when I put in my new Bay of Islands, Newfoundland, Canada, very nice, Marth. Thank you. I do know about colloided silver. Yep, I sure do. Thank you for that question, Dawn. But yeah, it's like figure it out, know what works. Because if you take care of the soil will take care of you. There's no doubt about that. If you can get some good old earthworms in there, working that soil, make sure you're using your compost, putting that in there. All your greens that you don't eat, that you're cutting up, that you're not using, instead of throwing them away, put them in a composting bin. Keep working on that. Free fertilizer from chicken poop. Rabbit poop is even better. Rabbit poop can be used right away. Chicken poop, once you gotta wait a year on chicken poop. So when you clean out your chicken coop, you set that pile aside for a year, and then the next year you can use that pile to put in your gardens. That's going to be good then. You got to get all that acid and everything like that out of that poop. But rabbit poop can be used right away. Right away. So we got Pine Ridge, Citrus County with the big G. But yeah, there's a lot of things that can be used. Cow manure, horse manure, all those can be used to help, with your gardens as well. So make sure you're using your leaves. Put your leaves in the gardens. That's a natural thing. It always killed me every year. It used to drive me insane when I would see people rake up their yards, bag up the leaves, put them at the end of the road, and then the town came and took it. And you know what the town does with that? They turn it into soil. I know in Greece, New York, we were able to get the soil from the town for free. You would get as much as you want. And so I would say, hey, bring me in a couple loads of and they would bring it right up and they would dump it where you wanted it. And it was the blackest, richest soil because they used all the wood, they used all the leaves, and they composted it and turned it into this beautiful, beautiful soil, and unbelievably rich. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators. My moderators do a fantastic job making sure that the chat is clean. So, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, I appreciate what you do. Yes, wood stove ashes is good as well for your garden. You don't want to overdo it, but yes, having some of that in there is absolutely good for that as well. But I want to thank them. They do a fantastic job keeping the chat clean, and it means a lot to me. I want to thank you guys for all being here, supporting the channel, being part of this. It is really, really cool, and it's been going on. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's a lot of fun. So I do really, really enjoy it. This weekend's going to be busy. I'm going to be crazy busy tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Actually, it's as we continue to make progress and get things rocking and rolling, it's going to be cool. So anyway, remember, folks, we are all in this together. We are one race. It's called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. They like to use religion. They like to use, politics. They like to use race. They like to use the vax and the unvax was the latest one that they were using to pit people against each other. It's ridiculous. We can't let them win like that. We need to come together. The real enemy, in my opinion, strictly, focusing on would be big business and the government, who want to control everything. Imagine that, right? So anyway, also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. If you set realistic goals and then you set about to making them happen, They'll happen. And don't listen to negative people telling you what you can't accomplish, what you can't do. Don't listen to that. Persevere, stay strong, do what you got to do, make your dreams come true. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm a perfect example of that. Set a goal. Okay, we're going to get that first turn done down here as we come into the property with the stone. Guess what? We did. Done. It's off the list. That's gone. Now we're hitting other spots that need it as well. And so it is, before you know it, a lot of stuff gets done, and it makes life better. It just makes life better. So those are things that people need to realize. You are the captain of your own destiny. You are the captain of your own ship. So anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great night. Have a safe. I hope you had a safe weekend, or have a safe weekend here coming up. I know ours is going to be very busy, but I am glad you will be along for the journey. And I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.